Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm good. A little sore. I went out to feed the deer today and twisted my ankle and jarred my back a little bit. Our snow is gross. I don't know another way to put it. You don't exactly sink into it, but you don't exactly stay on top of it. You kind of take your life into your hands with every step, and yeah, so a little bit tweaked up, but feeling pretty good otherwise. And I am amused beyond belief because I woke up this evening, to get ready for the show and everything, and I'm like, man, I wonder what I should talk about. I knew we were eventually going to talk about the Afroman case because I started watching it yesterday, and oh my god, it's insane. But I wasn't expecting them to be done with it and have a verdict and everything already. So let's bring this up on the screen and just get started with it. Afroman found not liable in bizarre defamation case brought by Ohio cops who raided his home. I don't know if you guys have been following this story at all, but God bless. This is insane. Monk, I'm going to have to take a pass away from you for posting this thumbnail alone. What? It's Afroman. I didn't make him look like that. How sharp is that suit, man? It's an American flag suit. I love it. He's also, I don't know how well you can see it in that picture right there, but those sunglasses are American flag sunglasses. No idea about it. I figured most people didn't. The only reason I did is because YouTube kept recommending me the videos for this, and I finally was watching one last night, and I don't even know where to start this fucking thing because it's so absurd. I guess we should start at the beginning. In 2022, I forget what the date was for this. The Sheriff's County in what is it? The Adams County Sheriff's Office. They decided to raid Afroman's home. They raided his home for drugs, and they did find some. They had a what would that say? I seriously thought this was just a meme. No, that's how this motherfucker showed up to court and testified. It's great. He actually showed up to court in that every day. What was I talking about? Oh, so in 2022, they raid his house and they don't find enough drugs to charge him with anything. They found a little bit of marijuana. I don't know what little bit is. If they mentioned the amount during the lawsuit, I don't remember it. A couple of vape pens, which that I know of, they never say whether they were like marijuana vape pens or just your regular, peach flavor. I don't care. But that's what they found. And they found some money, which is going to come in very important here in just a little bit. But in doing so, they also broke the fence to his house and apparently broke some other stuff. And Afroman was understandably upset by that. They also turned off his security system. He had surveillance in his home, and for some reason they turned it off. There was still enough, though, that he was able to get footage of the police coming into his home. And I really should have brought up the music video for this. Just for one specific part. They're a fat officer. It's amazing how fat if you live in Adams County, Ohio, y'all need to get your sheriff's office on like some deal meal or something. Get them on some sweating to the oldies or I don't know, South Beach diet, something. Because goddamn, they're all fat. Those are some fat fuckers. How are they going to do anything? If there's if there's some kind of like emergency, they can't run. I've seen them. They had trouble walking to the witness stand. All right. I don't know if Afroman is the kind that would hit us for copyright. So we should probably make sure we don't have sound on this. There we go. All right, now we'll bring it on screen. This is footage from his house, and this is in his video. This is all of them. This is the part we want right there. Did you catch that? That sheriff, when he comes in, there's a lemon pound cake right here on the counter. See that? And watch the sheriff. Motherfucker does a triple take of the lemon pound cake. And also due to money, which we'll get to in a minute. Big man, thank you. Could you imagine the sheer pettiness if this was 50 Cent? Would have been even funnier. That's fair. Afroman makes a song called Lemon Pound Cake, set to the tune of Under the Boardwalk, which was fucking amazing. And he does this, he says, to make back the money for the shit they broke in his house, to get his gate fixed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck why he did it. There's nothing wrong with what he did here. But the sheriff's department, they got mad. They got real mad. And they went out there to get themselves lawyers. And 5 of the sheriffs that showed up, the deputies, and the sheriff office itself sued Afroman for defamation. Fuck. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. This case is pure clown shoes. Man, I was watching Afroman's testimony, and it's amazing the lawyer that these people got and how offended this motherfucker is at everything. And watching Afro just not back. I'm gonna just call him Afro for short because I shorten everybody's name. But Afro just doesn't back down. This guy's trying to be like, but you were mean to them, right? And he's like, they stole my money. They broke my shit. All right, let's get to the stolen money part of this because it is quite relevant. So during their search, the police find, depending on who you ask, either $4,000 or $5,000 worth of cash in a suit pocket of Afroman. Now, Afro, he claims that he'd forgot the money was there. But when he's reminded it was there, he knew it was $5,000, right? He knew it was $5,000 because he'd got it from a specific place. For you, how many of you would like to forget that you had $5,000? I want enough money that I can forget I have $5,000 in a suit pocket. The most I've ever done is the poor thing, right? Where you put on some jeans you haven't worn in a while, and oh shit, there's a 20 in the pocket. For you kids, we used to carry this stuff called cash, and sometimes you throw your jeans in the wash and forget you had money in there, and then you put them on next time, and you stick your hand in the pocket, and it's like winning a scratcher ticket in a lotto, right? That's going to be something that kids aren't going to really do anymore, man. They're never going to get that experience because you don't forget your debit card in your pants and find it 6 months later. But anyway, sorry, that's an aside. Afroman gets, or the police go to Afroman's closets and they find $5,000 or they say 4,000. We'll get to that in a second, in the pockets. And they take it out and they label it all and they stick it in evidence bags. And they take it down to the police station. And then when Afroman comes to get his stuff back because they don't deliver after they've taken your shit for no reason, they tell him, oh, by the way, the money in this bag that we're handing you, it doesn't match this receipt that we're having you sign for the money we're giving you. The amount of money in the bag was $390 less than the receipt said. The receipt said $4,390, and the amount of money they gave him back was $4,000 even. Now, the police have come to your house. They have broken your shit. They've rifled through it, and excuse me, in one instance, they called you a what was the wording that he used? A sex addict. And then they take your money and make you go back and get it. And when they give it back to you, they're like, oh yeah, we made a mistake. On this receipt, we wrote more money than we actually collected. I'm kind of on his side of being a little pissed off about this, but don't worry, they had a whole nother police department come in and check it out. And it turns out they just accidentally counted it wrong. Now, maybe it's just me, right? But 4,000 and 4,390 seem like they'd be really hard to confuse, right? Like 390 is not a even amount. So it's not like, oh, we thought it was 4,400. We just accidentally counted too many $100 bills. That's a kind of specific amount to fuck up. 4,390. But don't worry, they had another police department come in and go, no, that's what happened. They just counted a little wrong. They forgot to turn around before counting it. Well, the chain of evidence wasn't well. All right, so the police count it. The guy who counts it brings it down, sets it on the counter near the pound cake, and asks the fat cop from the pound cake to keep an eye on it. And the fat cop then leaves. And he supposedly, I didn't hear it in the clip. Maybe he did, but he supposedly tells another officer to look at it or to keep an eye on it. But what is very clear is him saying, I'm not worried about it. There's nobody in there, despite the fact there's like 4 other deputies in that room. Now, he might have meant I'm not worried about it. All that's in there is cops. So, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But he was the one that was in charge of it at that time. And he's just like, I ain't worried about that shit. So even if the police are 100 on the up and up, right? Even if they did just miscount, it was actually $4,000. I don't think it's unreasonable for Afroman to think that these motherfuckers stole his money. That's a pretty small jump to make from you took my money, you wrote down how much you took, and you're giving me back a lot less. You stole my money. I think that's a very valid position to take. You know what I mean? Apparently the police department disagrees. So Afroman makes his song and they get mad. And so they like, hey, stop saying mean things about us. And the only 2 things that he says in the song that might be defamatory, is he says the one cop got the munchies from getting high. I don't think he got the munchies from getting high. He's just really fucking fat. He was like, cake. And then the other thing is that he says they stole his money. Again, not an unreasonable position for him to hold in that thing. I wasn't finished watching the last stream. I'll watch them both. This was what the police should have done at this point was been like, ha, 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 and moved on with their lives. Afroman, he wasn't letting this shit go. He did say some things. How can we put this? They were unflattering, right? I'll give you, for instance. Where's our female officer? There she is. I use the term female very loosely. Why did that do that? Oh, because it's a stream. There we go. Oh, I do want to give credit to this YouTube account. This is from WCP09 in, I'm guessing out of Ohio. Can I throw this in there? Yeah, if you go over to their live section, you can watch almost all of the trial. There's parts of it that aren't on there. I don't like the woman on the screen. This video ends with them saying that they're going to end for the day, and then tomorrow they can pick up with her. But when they do pick back up, it's not her. I don't know why. Whether they decided not to cross-examine her because she has her crocodile tears, or because they just didn't start filming. That's a woman. Hang on, don't get ahead of me. Now, Afroman may have repeatedly suggested that this was a dude. Might have repeatedly suggested, including in another song that he put out, that she turned off the camera so she could lick his wife. Might have made a video with a person who is supposed to be her uh getting her ass licked and putting her face in a vagina. So again, none of this is I find it funny, but it's not like it's childish. Let's just call it what it is. It's childish, it's petty, but it's not defamatory. This okay, all right, unless you're saying being called a being a lesbian itself is a bad thing, or being a trans person is a bad thing. You don't want to take that do you? You don't want to take that tact. But I have to play this. Oh, hang on one second. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Jack?
Yeah, it takes a second for me to get here.
There you go. How you doing? Man?
Runs like crap. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm I'm amused. You got here just in time for Mona Lickum down. Was it Lickum down there? I forget the name of it. Mona Lisa here. This is one of the police officers who was suing Afroman. And part of what she was suing him for was suggesting that she's a dude, a biological man. Now, I've set all that up and had this right here so I could play this for you.
Do you have other family in the area?
I got grandma and cousins and family like that.
That's not a dude?
That is not a dude. Supposedly, that is actually a biological female.
With that receding hairline and that voice and those eyes?
Yeah, man. That's
right.
I don't know how anybody would think I was a dude. That's so hurtful to me. Bitch, you must smoke more than I do.
Right?
Actual Justice Warrior, thank you for the donation. I've been following this case the whole time, and I can't believe someone else knows about it. This was going to be my surprise vid, American Flag Suit A+. Oh, dude, I am so invested in this. I didn't watch the whole thing. Like I said, I got some I got recommended the video yesterday of the court case there, and I got bored last night, turned it on, and I've been entranced ever since. And then waking up to find out the trial had already ended and getting to see Afroman's testimony. Mwah, chef's kiss. Frosted, thank you, man. Robert Patrick has such range.
That did look like Robert Patrick in drag.
Jack, you're down there in Ohio. How is this playing up down there?
Honestly, nobody's talking about it in my area. The people I interact with, nobody even knew it was going on. I was talking to a couple guys at the comic shop the other day about it, and they had no idea that this was going on. And a lot of them didn't know who Afroman was, except, of course, the one black dude who was like, oh, I know who that is.
Afroman, I mean, he's not a big rapper the way like a Kanye or something is. He really only had his one song, Because I Got High, Go Big. He does have several good songs though.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Because I Got High was pretty popular.
Mm-hmm. But even with that, my wife knows that song and has heard me listen to it 100 times, and she knows who Afroman is. She remembers all the controversy. Because when that song came out, they're like, he's glorifying getting high. And I was like, you didn't listen to the words. Because the man ruins his whole life because of getting high. That's what happens in the song.
I think we all know some people like that too.
Oh, sure. But Lady Monkey, when I started bringing this up, and I'm talking to her for a couple of minutes, and she goes, oh, that Afroman. So even people who know who he is, he's not big to where he really sticks in a lot of people's mind. No offense, Afro. I love you, you fat bastard, but it's like a lot of regional rappers, right?
There's a lot of them in Atlanta that are like that.
All right. So anyway, he called this chick a dude, and In one of the greatest moments in YouTube history, they sit there and play not only all of his tweets that he called her a man, but they play the song with the video, which I don't think I can show you on here.
Probably not.
Because there's some fucked up stuff in that. But again, it's all petty. It's all petty nonsense. It's not an actionable, especially in a song form where he's clearly playing it all up. It's not something you can sue for defamation over.
No,
I mean, you
also,
can, but
these
you're
are
going to lose.
these are civil servants,
Yes.
and criticizing your government is allowed.
Yes.
And you can say you can go to a government official and say you look like a dude. Whether you
And
like
again-
that or not, that's the way the law is written. That's part of free speech.
According to them, they miscounted his money, but as far as he knows, almost $400 of his is missing. So calling them thieves, I don't have to agree that they're thieves, but he's not wrong in his opinion of what happened.
Yeah, he can have the opinion that they're thieves.
Yeah.
That's not actionable. Yeah, it's rude for him to make accusations that he can't back up. But if $400 actually is missing, that is a problem, and that's something that he is allowed to criticize, whether you like it or not. I think this was very much their egos got bruised,
Well,
and they wanted a little bit of retaliation.
well, we'll get to the bruised egos, but there's tons of proof of this stuff. But in this case, this guy right here, this is lemon pound cake, guys. This is that fat bastard who did a triple take of the cake on the counter. One of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
I do love lemon pound cake.
He tells us that the reason he got involved in this lawsuit, right? It's because he gets recognized as lemon pound cake even at other police departments, and it's not a good thing, even though sometimes people have asked for his autograph. He goes into bars now, you know, in his police uniform. Sure, fatty. And they ask him, hey, how come you took Afroman's money? And that puts him in serious danger. I'm not kidding. That's what this asshole says.
That's stupid. No, that you got a dumb nickname. Deal with it.
There was one of the guys. I don't know if I can find him in here, but I was it this guy? No, this is the guy who's mad. His wife did time for theft and being labeled. Nobody ever questioned my stuff before, and he's like, nobody ever called you a thief because your wife was a thief. And he's like, oh, not that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can
Check
follow
dono.
to y'all's what does it say? Dulcet tones as I try to fall asleep in the hospital. Post ankle surgery.
Damn.
Feeling way more better. Got hit with a forklift at work, but I'm thinking I'll be back to 100% after 6 months, able to go back offshore. Octane Junkie. Yeah, close your eyes and just listen. I'll try not to laugh too hard because I know my laugh is not as nice as my voice. But thank you for that donation, and I hope you feel better, man. I hope you heal
Thanks
quick.
for supporting the channel.
In my
Hope
experience,
you feel better soon, dude.
From surgeries and stuff, yeah, about a month it'll mostly feel like you didn't have surgery, and hopefully yours actually takes care of the problem. So you still don't want to stress it at that point. You got to do your physical therapy and stuff. Don't skip out on that part. It is important.
Yeah. Don't rush back to work. Take your time and heal up. Sure, make sure you're 100%, especially if you're going offshore. That's dangerous stuff, man.
Oh, okay. Back to our thing here. The guy we were just looking at, the insult that is thrown at him, part of the reason that he's involved in all of this is because Afroman on Twitter called him, or maybe it was Instagram, social media, we'll just put it that, Colonel King Kong Bundy. It's the only thing he directly said about this guy, called him Colonel King Kong Bundy. But him and Quasimodo up here, hang on, where'd Quasi go? This guy got called Quasimodo. Defamation. Yes, he called him a hunchback and called him Quasimodo. But their other thing is, but he said the sheriff's department are thieves, so that he called us thieves.
Well, I mean, if $400 is missing, or he thinks it is, then you would be thieves.
No, but here's the thing.
He's got the right to think that.
I worked at Walmart. Do you know what kind of things were said about Walmart when I worked there? I couldn't sue because somebody said Walmart is racist. And I'd be like, wait, you called me racist. Because that's not them calling me racist. They're calling that. And saying that the sheriff's department are a bunch of thieves isn't saying everybody who works in the sheriff's department are thieves. Those are entirely different things. But yeah, these two guys literally just got schoolyard insults. King Kong Bundy and Quasimodo, and they're like, my feels.
Well, maybe he should have said you're a bunch of thin-skinned pussies, because
they are.
Yeah, because they're acting like it. I mean, this is embarrassing for the sheriff's department.
It is. Why would you bring this case?
They saw dollar signs. That's why.
Do you know how much they were suing for?
No, but I'm sure it's retarded.
Of the 6 people, I think it's 6. Although I swear I saw a thing that said 7. I'm almost positive it's only 6. Either way, between them, they wanted $3.5 million.
That's it for the whole group?
For the whole group.
What
do you mean that's it? That one motherfucker got called Quasimodo, and he wants $500K.
Yeah, well, I mean, this really does not help the image of Cincinnati.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Well, I pointed out earlier, I watched all of these cops. I can't believe how out of shape the Adams County sheriffs are.
These this is Adams County. Okay, yeah. It's not surprising.
These are some rotund motherfuckers. Including this guy.
You ever been to Adams County?
Chick, my bad. I don't know. Where is Adams County?
It's down over to the right of the Natty.
I'll tell you, I'll put it this way. The only places where I've spent any time in Ohio, my uncle used to live near was it Delaware?
Oh,
is it Delaware?
That's Franklin County, yeah.
Yeah. And he used to live in Columbus for a while, so I've been there. But again, those were just like day trips. I've never spent a lot of amount of time in Ohio. So, yeah, I don't know Adams County from the Adams family, dude.
All right, well, let me tell you the most exotic and interesting thing about Adams County, Monkey. Serpent Mound.
Nice.
That's it. I'm done. That's the excitement. I mean, you're looking at there's a couple of state parks down there, and you're looking at a couple of nothing towns. I think I can't even think of any off the top of my head. You're on the edge of the Appalachia Reserve or Preserve rather, Shawnee State Park. There's not much to it, man. Adams County is mostly desolation.
Their sheriffs could still, work out. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, and our sheriffs aren't fat. Okay, the sheriff is fat, but his deputies aren't.
Yeah, well, if you're not going to Peebles or Winchester, there's nothing there. Peebles is where Serpent Mound is. There's nothing there to do. So these guys have a pretty cush job. So they don't need to be in spry shape. Their biggest thing is probably a little bit of drugs coming through there, because the population is not that big of Adams County. And you could drive for miles and not see much of anything. It looks like the movie Wrong Turn down there.
Kiefer says closing arguments were dumb. The plaintiff's resorted to begging the jury to give them money. I haven't seen it. Maybe we'll watch the closing arguments if I can find them. I watched his testimony and then I jumped to the reading of the verdict. And yeah, I didn't actually see their closings. This is her crying as they're showing the video, suggesting she might be a man who went down on Afroman's wife. I couldn't help it as I was especially watching Afroman's testimony. I kept laughing because it is so petty but so funny. He was.
I didn't realize these were. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He was being very childish. I'm not gonna gloss that over at all. But that's not it. Being childish isn't illegal. What were you gonna ask?
Yeah, see, I thought this was Cincinnati, Claremont County deputies. And they have a fairly interesting reputation down that way. But Adams County, 500 grand will go a long way in Adams County. There is nothing there. It's an incredibly poor area. So
I'm going based on this New York Post article about it, where they say Adams County. I don't know fuck about either of them. So
yeah, I've been down to Adams County a couple of times in the past 15 years.
Go down there and get us a picture of lemon pound cake.
Oh, I probably could.
Yeah.
If you guys are ever in that area and while you're looking for pound cake, I would recommend it. Serpent Mound. It's fucking awesome. It's a lot smaller than you think too, but they got a little park area and they have like some mounds and they have a little museum. It's a pretty cool little tourist trap.
Now, I wanted to watch this guy because he is my favorite guy of all of them when it comes to their testimony. We're not going to watch a lot of it, but he doesn't work for the sheriff anymore, and that's where this picks up. And it is the very start of the video. This is what I was talking about with the link I gave you guys for where you can watch this. The videos start abruptly, and it feels like there should have been some stuff before him, but there's nothing there. Anyway.
Okay. So there is more reasons then than Mr. Foreman that caused
Mr. Foreman is Afroman. I forget what's his real name. Joseph Foreman. He's Joe Foreman.
you to leave the sheriff's department.
It had to do with the handling of this case.
Can you tell me what fact about you that receding hairline or dipshit refers to, please?
I'm sorry.
It's funny every time, dude.
You tell me what fact makes you receding hairline or dipshit? I laughed so hard the first time I watched this.
Sorry?
What private fact of yours does that refer to?
I mean, there's a picture of me, and see here, talking about see.
Whoops. Bro. Yeah, well, first of all, you can't sue for a fact, and you absolutely have a receding hairline.
Receding is generous. That man has no hairline.
No,
I have
he
more hair
does.
than that, and I'm bald.
You can see he shaves his head. He has hair. If he grew it out, he would have hair. It just would be massively receded.
But no, it finished receding probably 5 years ago. He's got a Picard ring, and his head looks weird from this angle, by the way. Oh, there might be 5 stray hairs on top, but those are like the leftovers.
Well, first of all, this was in 2022, so it may be that his hairline was right here before, and now it's way over here.
No,
We
I
don't
bet it
know.
was in the middle of his head, and it started in the back and the front at the same time and met in the middle.
We'd have to see a time lapse, but either way, it's not wrong to say that his hairline has receded.
That's a
And as
great
much as it
way.
might hurt your feelings to be told, hey, your hairline is receded, it's not defamatory. And calling you a dipshit, I mean, it's mean, it's insulting, but that's not defamatory. You can't sue somebody for calling you a dipshit. By the way, Afroman's whole case here is it's free speech.
Yeah.
And he's right.
He has a right to redress his grievances with his government and a First Amendment right to speak. They have no case. This was a stupid waste of money for everyone involved.
I do think, just from what I saw of him, I think the judge was on the police's side, and he seemed kind of disappointed in the verdict. That might just be me reading into it. It's absolutely me reading into it, but whether it's true or not, I can't say.
I don't know. From my impression of the judge was that he didn't want to be there at all. Let me grab a couple of things here real quick. Thank you, unit.
Oh,
After Afroman wins, this I might get high. Have fun because he won. And thank you, the lights. His head blinded me.
yeah, I don't know why, but apparently this wasn't coming through on Rumble. See if it's over there now, guys. But yeah, this part is just simply amazing.
I wouldn't trust him with methamphetamine crack ass alone in my house.
So
There's something mean about making the people who are suing for defamation or whatever read the shit that is supposedly defamatory about them. Brent, thank you for getting my attention on that. I don't know why it didn't come through at first. Wouldn't trust the meth crack ass hidden. Yeah. Again, there's schoolyard insults. You can't, unless you think somebody heard that you're a meth head and looked at your fat ass and went, yeah, that's meth body. It's just an insult, and you can't sue over insults.
Yeah.
I find that pretty insulting.
So
but that's not the question that he asked you. He asked, what about, and again, not insulting. Insulting is not the question here. It's defamation. But he asked you about receding hairline and dipshit, and you went to crack ass head.
that statement is what you're suing on.
Well, no. I told you this is one of many.
Well, and that's why we're trying to
You
find.
keep trying to make it singular.
Now, this is something you have to understand about this case, because there's so many involved in the case. It is possible, although not in this case in the reality of it, but it would have been possible that that mannish looking woman we saw had a case, but this fat guy doesn't.
Yeah.
And so it is important to point out, okay, what exactly do you think was defamatory here? Comrade Kitty, thank you for becoming a member for month number 32.
Woo.
What does it say? The beacons are lit. Gordon calls for aid.
Gondor,
Sorry,
for
yes. Talking about the shine off his head.
That's funny.
Telling you it's not singular, it's plural.
Okay. And
Okay, so we're getting ready to find out what the things are that he's suing over. And I'm telling you, dude, leave me alone, Frosted. I can't see well. I laughed so much. This is why I posted it over on Twitter, because you're were a sheriff's deputy and you're this thin-skinned.
Right? Like, you can't be a pussy and be a cop. You're terrible at your job if you're that thin-skinned, that this is what hurts your feelings. Shut up.
Well, old Lemon Pound Cake there tells us that he really hasn't been insulted all that much in his 40 plus years as a cop.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit.
This is the guy who said he can't go into bars now to arrest people. So you used to go in and arrest drunks, and they were like, "Oh, what's up, homie? Nice to see you. Go ahead, take me to jail." I've seen drunks. It doesn't go that well. I guarantee you, lemon pound cake is the nicest thing he's ever been called.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So one of them is dipshit, one is receding hairline,
Yep.
and the other is meth heads.
Yes.
Is there any more?
Well, when he's sitting there making accusations against the organization that I, at that time, was working for, destroying community trust, all based off of a lie, that's what ultimately stopped.
That's not. You can't sue over that, dude.
because of the he insulted the organization I work for, therefore I can sue him. Nope. How did this make it to fucking trial?
I don't know.
This shit should have been thrown out with prejudice.
Yeah.
This is your evidence that the worst thing he called you was meth head, which anybody looking at this fat guy and thinking, yep, that's totally meth.
They've never seen a meth head.
That's chocolate cake head right there. Or lemon pound cake, I should say. That's meth heads aren't known for being rotund.
They're not chubby fellers?
Not typically, no.
That's community trust in the Adams County Sheriff's Department, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's say no money was stolen, right? None, Jack.
Okay.
They actually made a mistake writing down the number and somehow accidentally wrote down 4,390 when they meant to just write 4000.
Yeah, totally possible error. Okay, I could buy that. That's a possibility.
But in that case, wouldn't you lose some trust with their ability to write at least how much they took?
Yes.
There's no way that this looks good for them at all.
No, they were either sloppy with their paperwork, or somebody accidentally misplaced $400, or somebody straight up stole it.
Yeah. The only two choices here are thievery or incompetence. Which one? Look, I guess incompetence is better, but that would still damage your reputation unless
And
you
it
were
should.
already known for being incompetent.
Yeah, look, nobody wants to be called incompetent, and nobody wants to be called a thief. But if you're going to get called one of the two, which one is the least offensive?
But in either case, it damages reputation.
Yeah, well,
And
he doesn't get to sue if the group's reputation is damaged.
exactly.
Like
Now,
the sheriff's department would have to sue, and even then, they're not going to win.
the sheriff's department was in on this suit.
Of course, they were.
The department as a whole. Hey, good luck paying his lawyer fees, you dumb shits. I don't know if you guys have that in Ohio, but I hope
They
do.
probably are going to get with having to pay his legal fees.
I hope that happens because these guys were bad. They were bad at what they did. You raided Afroman's home. You raided the guy who wrote "Because I Got High's" home, and all you got was a couple ounces of pot.
What a waste of time. And pot is quasi-legal here, so it's not even worth the time.
Not even enough to charge him for anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, he probably could countersue them for harassment, but he'll at least get legal fees out of this.
Apparently there was some kind of countersuit. I don't know anything about the ins and outs of that. I've only paid attention to what the sheriff's department did and their side of suing things.
If I was the Adams County Sheriff and these guys were my employees, I would try and find a way to fire them because they're the ones making us look stupid.
Well,
these are bad employees.
Most of them don't work there anymore. Or at least the ones that I saw. Like this guy, he had to leave because of all of this. He does tell us there was no reprimands or anything. There was no repercussions for this, but he left that job because of this.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Okay.
The guy's a pussy.
Well, even if he did, that's not Afroman's fault.
No, it's this thin-skinned pussy's fault for being a thin-skinned little pussy. The worst you got is name called and somebody wrote a song about you.
Oh,
Shut
no.
up.
Hey, they got some mean phone calls down at the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably did. He's got a little bit of he's a minor league celebrity. So fucking what? You should see the phone calls and shit that happen when Long Island Audit goes out
Mm.
and they give him a hard time. Even when they're nice to him, they get fucking phone calls. And that guy's a way bigger name on the internet than Afroman. Sorry, Afroman, but ridiculous.
Let's go back to what was plaintiff's exhibit 5.
This is another thing I love. Not only did Afroman make the song, he used pictures from his home video to sell merch, which they are pissed about.
They're public servants.
Yep.
If the government took the photo, there's really no copyright there.
Oh, no. This was taken on his CCTV.
Oh, okay.
They were public servants doing public activities in his home. It's his. Don't know what to tell y'all.
Yeah, it's his. So it's his cameras.
Yep. But they are really mad about that. One of the things that they sued over, it wasn't just the defamation. They sued of him breaching their privacy.
How? Did he go to their houses? Did he dig up dirt on them? Did he dox their addresses?
Well, he did repeat some rumors that he heard, which isn't, by the way, not a breach of any kind of confidentiality or privacy rights. Repeating rumors that are already going around the town, it's not defamation.
No,
And it's
not
not a
unless
breach of privacy.
it's definitely not a breach of privacy unless there's something actually defamatory in those. I mean, if it's like, oh, he's banging someone else, it would have to be very egregious.
I feel like we should watch that one guy.
Oh,
Or you know what? We'll just watch Afroman.
Real quick, thank you, Shio. Bidets are just gateways to butt stuff. That's true. That's science. So watch your cornholes, buddies.
All right.
Okay.
I unfortunately don't do technology very well. But this was plaintiff's exhibit 5. You said this was referring to you. Where's your picture in this?
I said, you asked me earlier.
Where's your picture?
No,
in this?
and you asked me
Your
earlier.
Honor, I'd ask the witness to answer the question.
Okay.
You can clarify if there's reason.
Okay.
Is your picture in this post?
No.
Is that a picture of your father?
Yes,
So this actually pertains more to your father than you.
correct.
Yeah, Afroman might have brought up some shit about people's families.
See, the family members would have some kind of expectation of privacy, but even
Not when they've been found guilty of crimes.
no, if he's using a photo of this dude's dad, unless he took the photo, that might be a minor issue, but you're not going to get any real money out of that.
I'd like to look at what was plaintiff's exhibit A.
Can you turn a little bit?
Well, here, help me with that.
Just turn it slightly. There, right. Yep, perfect.
Okay.
So there's no place exhibit A.
Oh, sorry, plaintiff's exhibit 1.
Thank you.
So this would have been plaintiff's exhibit 1. It says in court early. Were you at that hearing?
No.
So this is a post about a legitimate hearing that we have in this case.
Right.
By the way, Afroman never shut up. You know how they say if you're in a case, shut up about it? Literally yesterday, he was posting about this shit. I kind of respect him for that because so many people are like, I can't talk about that. Unless there's been a gag order on the case, you actually could. It's just lawyers recommend you don't, so you don't put your foot in your mouth. But if you ain't do nothing wrong, you can say what you want.
You weren't present there.
No, sir.
Do you know if your attorney was present?
I don't know.
This kind of goes without saying you're not a judge.
Nope.
You're not. Oh, you're not.
For those just listening along, he posted a picture of one of the people involved in the case next to Droopy Dog, and they look ridiculously alike. I told you guys, it's petty, but it's not defamatory. It's not a violation of any kind of privacy rights or any of this nonsense that they were suing over. It's just childish.
This would be plaintiff's exhibit number 6, the one about Roy Gabbard. You're not a judge?
Nope.
You're not Roy Gabbard?
Nope.
And other than this referring to the Adams County Sheriff's Department somewhere towards the end, that is the only thing in it that you believe is the plaintiff?
I'm sorry. It kicked on right when you were talking. I couldn't hear you. They
Let's
kicked on.
strike your question.
Okay, I'm sorry. Poor timing.
Yeah, he was just pointing out that once again, it had nothing to do with this guy.
This would be plaintiff's exhibit number 8. You said you saw this sometime after.
Yeah, it wasn't the day of. It was sometime after. I don't recall.
How long after?
Within a week, I'd say probably.
But you're not identified in here?
No.
And it just talks about the department in general.
Correct.
It just talks about a guy that hit Mr. Foreman's mailbox.
Correct.
And you didn't hit Mr. Foreman's mailbox?
No.
Again, part of the reason Afroman said he did this was to raise money to repair the shit the police broke when they did the raid. I don't believe him. I'm just going to be honest about that. I think he did it because he knew partially it could pay for it, but because it was funny to slap these guys around. They broke his shit. He was pissed off about it. So he's like, I'm going to do what Afroman does and make a funny song. And I'm okay with that. All right, Jack, we've got to get to the man, the myth, the legend, Afroman. I cannot tell you how much I love this suit. I don't wear suits, and I want this suit. And I want those sunglasses. Those are American flag sunglasses, man.
Those are kind of cool. Real quick, let me grab a couple things here before we get too far into this. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Hey, Jack, I'd stay, but Gordon called for aid, and I gotta go. I'm being joined by my dwarf friend Jim Lee, the Wizard Randolph, and the ring bearer Fredo. We'll keep an eye for the ring obsessed deformed hobbit Colin and the evil wizard Solomon. Thank you, Travis Gardner. Hey, Eggman, where is the walrus? He's cuckoo cachoo.
Afroman
Thanks,
is
guys.
known for because I got high and Colt 45. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. I don't know what song you're talking about. All right, so this is Afroman's testimony.
Isn't that what Billy D drank before smacking his wife?
Yeah. Afro Samurai's real. I am jealous of his afro, but I do wonder if he ever's like, man, I wish I could cut this, but I can't because of my name.
Your name is Afroman, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you create music videos and do performances, is
Yes,
that
sir.
right?
Actually, I is this his? I should have broken this down to where we get the cross-examination. Let me find that video because it's much more interesting. Because this is just his lawyer going over it, you know, the funny stuff. But this one is the video we want. Same source. Wait, no, this is him coming up to the stand. That's what we were just watching. I need when the other lawyer, Jack, talk for a second, would you?
Sure. We got a leg. Legs are sucky. I am awesome. Monkey's pretty cool. Give us money. Hit like, share, and subscribe. I'm running out of music. Condolences to Ryan on a second death in his family. That really sucks. Bad timing all around. He's going through some shit. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
All right, we'll pick up right here. Do-do-do-do-do. This is the video that they made of his testimony. So here we go.
You know when you post something that a lot of people are going to see it, don't you?
Yes.
I just want to talk to that point because several times in the testimony of the other people, like Lemon Pound Cake, he's like, he made it happen. Yeah, he does have a big audience, and Afroman calling you Lemon Pound Cake might make a couple of people that you know call you Lemon Pound Cake. That's just what fame does. It doesn't change whether or not it's defamatory or anything. If he called you a shitbag and people started calling you shitbag, it's still not defamatory.
Well, and have none of these people heard of the Streisand effect?
I think it needs to be renamed to the Afroman effect because I don't know hardly anybody who was talking about this case at all, and literally didn't know anybody talking about it, but maybe some were. But even Charlie did a video. I haven't watched it, but I saw he made a video about this. If you think Afroman calling you Lemon Pound Cake is going to make people call you it, wait till you see what Charlie's audience does.
No shit. If Charlie and Asmongold pick this up, dude, you're never going to live this down.
Yeah, Moist already has a video out about this, and I haven't watched it. I don't know what side he comes down on or whatever, but if you guys didn't do this, that never happens.
Yeah.
And yes, Afroman makes the video, and without that, it never happens. But if you guys didn't break into this dude's house and destroy his shit, none of this happens. This all starts with you guys being bad at your fucking jobs. There was no reason to break any of his shit. Anyway.
When this search happened back in August of 2022, Mr. Foreman, you weren't at home?
No.
You were driving home from Chicago?
Yes.
And you got an alert from a family member that the sheriffs were there searching your home. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were able to turn on your phone and watch through your home security system what the deputies were doing for a period of time, weren't you?
Yes.
And only for a period of time because they shut off his cameras.
Oh, well, that's actually not good. You're not allowed to do that.
Let me amend that a little bit. I know he claims they shut off his cameras. I know the cameras went off. I don't know that it's been definitively established that one of them did it. Again, I haven't watched all of the Manly woman's testimony because it's alleged that she's the one that did it. So maybe she does admit to it. Either way, the cameras go off.
And is it fair to say you were angry and upset about this search?
I wasn't happy.
And is that why you posted the things we've seen this week, because you weren't happy?
No, I posted it because the sheriff's never supposed to raid my house in the first place. The whole raid was a mistake. All of this is their fault. If they hadn't wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names. They wouldn't be on my body. They wouldn't be on my home surveillance system. And there would be no songs, nothing. My money would still be intact, nothing. So all of this is their fault.
Come on, man. You know what? If I was a juror here, I probably still would have sided with him, but you were mad because they did it. It was what you just said. It was a wrongful raid. We know that because they found nothing and you weren't even there to like flush your stash. But there's nothing wrong with you going, yeah, I was mad. I was pissed off. Doesn't make anything I said wrong or defamatory. I get it. You're in court, so you kind of gotta nicen that up, but you were mad. It's fine. It's fine. And you were still way nicer than I'd have been. I'm just going to be honest. They break into my house and break my shit. And then my money comes up missing. Oh, there's a whole bunch more that I would have said.
And because they executed a search warrant on your home, that gave you the right to post the things that we've seen this week on the internet?
Absolutely, it does. It's called redressing grievances. The Constitution doesn't exactly explain what that means. He's criticizing his government. He absolutely has that right. Yes. Why is a fucking lawyer asking that stupid ass question?
That's a good question.
First Rady, thank you. Here, had to put it on an official document. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you. I'm assuming that's a Twitter link. I'll check it out. All right, back to our man here.
Because
Is that right? Is that right, Mr. Foreman?
yes, for
Yes.
tearing down my door, not paying for it, not being apologetic, me being a sport, doing something peaceful to raise the money to pay for their damages, me having the right of the freedom of speech as an American to talk to my family, friends, and fans about what the sheriffs did to my home. Yes, I had the right to my freedom of speech. After they left, I had the right to kick the can and to do what I had to do to repair the damage they brought to my house.
Yep. First Rady, thank you. Eric's post. Yeah, I looked at it. It's the quote we saw from Eric Swalwell yesterday. It's a picture of him holding up a piece of paper that says it, where he doesn't understand which way the sun goes or the earth moves around the sun.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, this was a great answer from him. And this is why this case should have been thrown out from the beginning. This never should have made it this far.
No.
And by the way, if it doesn't make it this far, a lot of the follow-up stuff doesn't come. Because if he wasn't in court yesterday over this bullshit, he wouldn't have been having to post about being in court yesterday over this bullshit. Anyhow.
Yes, I did.
That includes the right to post the videos that you've just been posting up until Friday and beyond, right?
What did they
What was that? Go ahead, bud.
What did they raid his house over?
Drugs.
Yeah, what was their probable cause, though? Did they say?
Oh, that I don't know. I haven't been able to find it. Yeah,
okay.
I
If it was that song, that's dumb.
No. The raid comes before the song. He only makes the song because of the raid. But something just happened there where the lawyer asked, so this is what gave you the right to do it up to this last Friday. The judge did give instructions because Afroman, he does keep posting shit, but he's like, no, there has to be a cutoff in order for us to have this, as a case. You can't just have this indefinite. He defamed me. I sued for him defaming me, but he defamed me after the suit started. And he did get told earlier in the case that because he asked Lemon Pound Cake about the post a day ago, and he's like, no, you can't add. There's a cutoff. You can't ask about that shit. But this guy doesn't care.
Yes, I have freedom of speech. I'm a rapper. I entertain. I write fiction, comedy. Yes, I mean, I entertain for a living like you practice law for a living. So I have to go to work.
I love how he frames it. Dude, I was just doing my job. You can't set him up like this because, yeah, this is what he does for a living. It was an unverified tip from a friend of his ex-wife who claimed he was involved in a kidnapping and was trafficking drugs. Oh, thank you. That's where the kidnapping stuff comes from. Okay, because I saw that mentioned elsewhere, but nobody went into it. Yeah, they took a friend of his ex-wife's claim for it. That's what they get. By the way, not only did they find like minimal drugs, they did not find any kidnapping victim. Shocker, right?
Oh, well.
He's
They were
he's not on
clearly
criminal
hidden in the
trial.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deputies left a warrant return at your house, didn't they?
I think they left something with my ex-wife. I'm not sure.
Well, you saw, as soon as the search was over, as soon as you got home, you saw a document that showed exactly how much cash had been taken from the house, correct?
I know I got paid $5,000 for the show that suit was in. I forgot that.
Okay, now this is where the money starts to get even more convoluted. So the sheriff's department says that they actually got 4,000. Their original stuff says 4,390, and Afroman says he had $5,000. Just throwing that out there. That's why the numbers are a little different.
That money was in that suit. But I heard, I don't know what piece of paper I heard. I knew they took some money. I just knew they took some money. I knew it was 4,000-ish. I knew they took some money and they seized some money and some weed and some, I don't know what else, just minor stuff.
You knew how much money was in that pocket when you came home and saw the warrant return, didn't you?
It was $5,000 from back when I did that show. I remember it was $5,000, but anyway.
So is it your testimony that they actually took $5,000 instead of
No, I just know,
$4,390?
I know when I did that show, it was with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa at Red Rocks in Denver. The balance of that show, for me, they sent in a deposit, but the balance was $5,000. I put the $5,000 in my coat pocket. I got drunk, I got high, and I forgot to get that money, and I hung that suit back up.
I love that I got drunk, I got high as an explanation in a court hearing. You know what I really love? I love that his song, both the Lemon Pound Cake and the Mona Lisa song, are part of Ohio court record now. I love that the stenographer had to type out the words to this shit. What a world we live in.
And that's where they got that money from.
So it was $5,000 they got?
Yes, it was $5,000 that was in my suit when I got paid in Red Rocks. Now, after all of this stuff, whatever, it's I don't really know the complete number. It's 46, it's 430. The number bounces up and down. But all I know is I got paid $5,000 at the Red Rocks with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa when I played the Red Rocks in Denver.
And you got $4,000 returned, right?
I don't know the exact amount.
Well, you were there with the news when you got it.
And
when he went to pick up his money, he called the news so that there was a camera crew there. I love this, man. It's Afroman, of course, because I got high as an excuse. Fair enough.
Lady at the sheriff's station admitted that the sheriff was short. You can go watch the 19 News.
You knew when you saw the warrant return, didn't you, that the amount that they were saying was taken was actually more money than was in that suit pocket?
What he's suggesting here is that Afroman knew it was only $4,000, and that when he saw the warrant affidavit, that it said that there was 4,390, and he's like, gotcha, bitch. Okay.
I didn't warrant.
That's why you brought the news to the sheriff's office when you got the money back, because you knew that they had miscounted the money and the number on the evidence bag was actually more money.
I didn't know nothing. The lady at the sheriff department just volunteered the information. I was sitting there, if she had been, I might not even known I got ripped off. She admitted it live on Channel 19 News.
I kind of tend to believe that the reason he called the news was just because it was a chance at publicity. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't think Afroman has enough of his brain left to be like, no, I knew it was only 4,000 in that suit. I think it was just a publicity stunt for him, especially after, you know, they raided his home over this nonsense and nothing turned up, and now I have to go get my money. I got to go collect. Did the sheriff's office have to give him back the weed, or do they keep that?
No, they usually dispose of that.
Because, like you said, it's quasi legalized down your way.
Yeah. They usually destroy it anyway.
Frank, thank you. My dad would have been 63 today if it wasn't for cancer. Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
Was pulled over, decided to run, had 4 garbage bags of fireworks. At trial, they brought in half a bag of fireworks. He got off testifying, no, I had a lot more than that, to being asked if it was his. That is wonderful. That ain't my shit. There was a lot more of mine. Anyway, back here.
That the money wasn't right.
You remember in your deposition when I asked you, why did you bring the news when you picked up the money?
Yeah, I didn't want to get beat up or Epstein at the sheriff's station after I seen him running around my house with AR-15s. So that's why.
Didn't want to get Epstein.
Wow.
I enjoyed watching this so much.
I brought the news and my attorney. So to make sure I got out of that place with my money.
You brought the news to protect you physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't bring the news because you already knew there was a miscount and you were going to make.
I didn't know nothing about the
hay out of
discount. I didn't know. I figured they stole my money. They turned my cameras off. So if you turn my cameras off, you must got something bad in mind. So yeah, I'm accusing them of it. You know, they turned my cameras off. I can't see what they're doing.
So your testimony under oath here today to these 10 jurors is that you brought the news when you picked up your money to protect you physically from being beat up or shot by the sheriffs, right?
Yes.
All right.
Makes him repeat it 3 times and then makes him verify that's his testimony. If I were the police in this case, the sheriffs, I'd be a little pissed off at this attorney. Because, all right, you have no way of proving that this guy, that Joseph Foreman here, Afroman, knew how much money was in that jacket. This is all speculation, and you got him to repeat the same thing over and over to the jury. You're trying to convince that he's lying.
Yeah, you're trying to trip him up, and it's not really working here.
Yep, should have asked it one time and moved on.
And they volunteered the information that the money wasn't right. That's just an extra something we found out. But I came with my attorney and the news to make sure the people running around my house with guns didn't take me into jail and do something.
I don't believe you. I think it was a publicity stunt. Does anybody believe he did it because he thought the cops were going to kill him in the police station? I'm not wrong on this part, right?
It depends how paranoid he is. Like, how much weed was he smoking at the time?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Maybe he was, that paranoid. I just think it was a publicity stunt, like all of this was.
I hate to derail things real quick, but just I've been going through some of the cards that I was given the other day. Remember, I told you I got some magic cards and shit.
I don't, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I got a bunch of packs of cards and stuff from my buddy Rob, his estate after he died. His wife.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going through it, and I just found a Charizard from the first set of Pokemon. Is that still worth anything?
If it's the original printing, probably.
Yeah, 1999. Wizards number 4 of 120 or 102 rather. It's a hologram on the box. I know it's a first edition. There's also some like promo cards from the first movie and some other shit in here. But I don't know anything about the other Pokemon cards, but I know that Charizard was worth something. Is that still a thing, Pokemon players? I know some of you are in there.
Yeah, I don't know anything about.
Oh,
the
hey, Trippy
Pokemon
Cast,
market, but
thanks
yeah.
for the raid.
But especially being if it's first edition Charizard, probably, yeah. Anyway, back to
Cool.
I love his hair. If I had hair like that, I really would. I would have like Mexican gardeners come out and cut me something cool.
You had a safe in your home, correct?
2 of them.
2 safes. Did the sheriffs look into those safes, to your knowledge?
Yes, they
The
did.
deputies?
Yes.
And how did they get the combination?
I gave it to my ex-wife so the sheriffs wouldn't pull my safe out the floor, take it to the station and put something in it and try to say that whatever they put in my safe was mine. So I went ahead and gave my ex-wife, who I didn't want to give my combination to, it was just safer. I went ahead and gave her my combination so they could open up the safe and realize that they just vandalized somebody that don't even have nothing in the safe.
And do you know what was in those safes?
It was absolutely nothing in the safes.
Don't you keep jewelry in those safes?
No.
Can you tell me that in your deposition that you keep jewelry in those safes?
I do.
Was anything missing from the safes when you got home after the search?
I didn't put nothing in the safes.
Was anything missing from the safes when you got home?
Nothing was in them, so nothing was missing from the safe.
He tries to trick him here with, didn't you say that you keep jewelry in there? Doesn't mean he keeps it in there all the time. I hate lawyers. I fucking hate lawyers.
Oh, I hear you.
You talked to Randy Walters on the phone before you got.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Oh, damn it. Hang on. My system's running like shit today. Thank you, Frank. Charizards are worth big in good condition. It's not in good condition. I can believe he believes blacks are killed by cops. Yeah, I can see that.
I can believe he believes black people are killed by
this
cops.
ain't no near mint, guys.
I don't believe he thought he was going to go down to the sheriff's office to pick up his money and they were going to assassinate him in there. Hey, there's a whole difference.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a hyperbolic exaggeration. No,
Yeah.
This thing's like used and chipped up on the back, guys. I'm guessing it's probably less than $100. I'm looking at it on eBay. Sorry, I'm listening. That threw me off. Sorry.
Home that evening during the search or right afterwards, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
He told you that they were taking some money and some vape pens and a small amount of marijuana. He told you that.
Yes, sir.
So
You knew, didn't you, Mr. Foreman, that there had been.
I just want to remind you, he's getting a chance to ask Afroman, the guy that supposedly defamed his clients, about the defamation. And all he's like, so you knew they raided your house, right? Yeah. You know how pissed off I would be a juror at listening to these questions? I remember watching the Rittenhouse trial, and I even asked Recollection about it at the time. All of the lawyers were like, they should be objecting. They should be objecting. And I'm like, if I was the jury, I would get pissed off if you keep objecting to things that don't seem to really matter. I get it. You're supposed to and whatnot, and I asked Recollection, and he's like, yeah, there is a chance of annoying the jury with too much shit. And if you're asking this guy irrelevant questions, because none of this is relevant. The only relevant thing he asked him was about whether or not he knew how much money was there. That's the only thing relevant, because it goes to the thievery stuff. He didn't claim anything was stolen from the safe. There's no reason to bring up the safe. He didn't suggest that anything more than the vape pens, the marijuana, and the money was taken. Why bring this up? You're just wasting people's time. And as a juror, you're not getting paid much. Now, maybe there's one guy there who's like, ooh, finally I get lunch. But for everyone else, you're just annoying them.
Yeah.
Why didn't the lawyer ask whether Afroman knew for a fact that one cop was a kitty diddler? They do get into that. He does ask him about the kitty diddler stuff. Because yeah, I forgot to mention that he did call one of the guys a pedophile. Not funny. It's not funny to call somebody who's not a pedophile, but we don't know if he's a pedophile or not.
An investigation by the Claremont County Sheriff's Office into the discrepancy about the cash that was missing from your home, correct? You knew there was an investigation.
Yeah, I knew the sheriffs was investigating themselves.
Why do you open yourself up to this, Mr. Lawyer Man? Because technically it was a different sheriff's department. I forget the county that it was.
Claremont, they just said it. Yeah.
Oh, Claremont, thank you. But it's still police investigating police.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you saw it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you ever ask for a report so you could see how bad this investigation of themselves really was?
Wait.
Yes, I was trying to get involved any way I can. The investigation was going on without any of my participation.
Did you ask for a copy of the report?
I did. I asked for everything. I was trying to be involved. I didn't.
So you've seen the report?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I just saw it a few minutes ago.
Well, you had an attorney when you got the cash returned, correct?
At the station?
Yes.
I had attorney. Yeah, my attorney was present.
Did
when
your
I got my
attorney
cash.
ask for a copy of this report?
It wasn't in it when I got my cash back from the station. It wasn't an investigation until we realized money was missing.
Well, did you come?
He just asked him if his lawyers asked for a report on an investigation that hadn't even started yet. As I said, if I was the sheriff's office over here, I'd be pissed off at this lawyer. Wait, why didn't your lawyer ask for shit that doesn't exist?
Right?
I would love, I'm probably going to go back and watch because I saw a couple of lawyers did some breakdowns of this, and I'd love to see what they say about this question. When you went to pick up your money that everybody just realized wasn't right, did you get the report on why that money wasn't right, that hadn't been done yet?
Yeah. Did you get that unfinished paper that nobody's written yet? If not, why not?
They hadn't even started the investigation.
Contact your attorney and say, hey, get me a copy of that report.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. Well, Mr. Klingler wants to talk about his client's attorney-client privilege and maybe waive it. Mr. Foreman does have attorney-client privilege.
For the record, this guy right here was not his attorney at the time. You need to cut that beard. I'm not a fan of those beards anyway, but you don't brush yours and it looks like hell. Afroman can get away with it because of his name to have his unkempt afro. That beard looks like ass, and you're in a court of law, bro. Sorry, just an aside. Afroman, the lawyer that they're talking about is actually 2 lawyers back. And yeah, you cannot ask them what he was talking about with his lawyer. I mean, you can, but he can absolutely say, I don't have to answer that.
They're trying to trick him. It's just lazy.
Oh, it's bad lawyering.
With his attorney at that time. And we are going to assert that privilege because it's a privilege he has of right.
And so far, he hasn't asked anything privileged. So I appreciate the sensitivity. Overruled.
See what I mean? I don't think this judge is in his corner. He's got a clear bias towards the police here. But anyway,
It's pretty common.
The question isn't going to help him because, again, he already said, I tried getting it. I asked for that stuff. The only time we didn't ask for it is when it didn't exist yet. Why was that a question? Oh, my God.
The objection. We'll pay attention. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Your testimony is you never saw a copy of Detective Robinson's report until today.
Yes, sir.
And that's because you didn't want to see a copy of the
I
investigation.
did want to see. You don't know what I want. I did want to see it.
You did.
See, this is some stuff you can get away with in a criminal case. Being like, she didn't see it because she didn't want to. In a civil case like this where he has to testify, you can try and be like, hey, this is what you were thinking. But then he gets to go like, you don't know what I was thinking. And the jury's going to be like, yeah, you can't know what he was thinking. Like he's wearing sunglasses, but like Turner, he can't pull it off. I love his sunglasses. I think they look awesome, bro.
I'm actually surprised the judge let him wear sunglasses in court. Usually you can't get away with that.
Maybe he's got an eye condition from all of the drugs.
Yeah. Or he's just recovering from smoking a joint earlier.
Yeah, you don't want to have the jury see just how high he was while he was doing this.
Thing that had something to do with my money coming.
And that was 3.5 years ago, correct? And you haven't seen a copy of that report that you wanted to see until this afternoon. Is that right?
That's right.
I like how confused he looks. Like that's what I said.
I never had my money taken by cops. I didn't know how this go. I don't know about reports. All I know is live on Fox 9.
I'm just going to repeat this because apparently people in chat aren't getting it today. I have trouble reading because of my eyesight, guys. Sorry. If I fuck something up you said, it's not because I don't care. Because I just didn't see the words right.
News, the lady admits that her department is short $400 of my money. That's all I know. I don't know how to investigate police officers taking money.
That's all you know, and that's all you know today, isn't it? That's the whole basis of your claim that your money was stolen, is that the amount of money that was in the...
No, Trippy, you don't have to apologize. It's often very funny. I just want to make sure you know I have a well-earned reputation for not paying attention to chat. And I just want to make sure that there's an understanding that my inability to read isn't a not caring. That's all.
bags is different from the amount of money that was written on the bag.
Yeah, my whole thing is they never should have raided me in the first place.
That's your whole thing.
That's my whole thing.
That's the point,
That's my whole
isn't
thing.
it?
If they never would have showed up, there would be no songs about them. I wouldn't know who they are. Their faces would not be on my video cameras. None of this, we wouldn't be in this room right now if they hadn't raided my house and didn't press no charges, didn't even know what they was doing. This whole thing is their fault, and they're suing me for their mistake.
And so you don't really care if they stole your money or not. You're just mad about what they did. I do care about
if they stole them.
Those aren't mutually exclusive. The whole reason this happened is because of those assholes. Oh, so you don't actually care about your money. Here's the thing. Even if he didn't care about his money, it wouldn't mean they didn't steal it.
Yeah, it's a bit ludicrous to say he doesn't care about. You can care about multiple things at the same time. Like, yes, I'm mad they raided my house. I'm also mad they stole my shit.
This lawyer is terrible. He really is. He's not good at his job. Unless his job was to get Afroman found not liable, because he does that very well.
Yeah. Well, look, even some of these smaller counties need to have lawyers, and that's where the C team goes.
Apparently. This is the guy who even Jasmine Crockett can look at and go, he's a bad lawyer.
I would like to point out that Adams County only has about 28,000 people in it.
Damn, that's actually kind of small for.
Yeah, it's not a small physical area, just a small population. So if this guy's one of their lawyers, you're not dealing with the highest of the class here. You know, you're dealing with the
I'm-
like 2.0 student.
For the record, as far as I know, this guy's a private attorney. He's not the county's attorney.
Yeah, but he's still functioning out of Adams County.
Yeah. So he's the guy that couldn't even get hired by them.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, he barely passed the bar kind of thing, I bet.
He's like what would really happen in My Cousin Vinny if you just called up your 6 times losing or failing the bar cousin to represent you,
Right?
rather than being secretly a genius.
Still an outrage.
You have no evidence that they took your money except for the amount on the bag isn't the same as the amount.
You have no evidence that they took your money other than the fact they gave you back less than they said they had.
That's enough right there, isn't it?
That, oh my God. And I get what he's getting at. No, he didn't see them actually steal his money or anything, and nobody can say for certain what was there, because apparently whoever pulled it out of his pocket and counted it out didn't have body cam on. That would have been an easy way to figure it out.
Jesus. Yeah, it would have.
But this is like saying, hey, you have no evidence that he shot that guy other than him standing over him with a gun in his hand, right? Like, no, we don't have definitive evidence. Saying that there's no evidence is just wrong. And the lady at the sheriff's office admitted it on the news. Yeah. But again, all that he can look at the same facts that I look at and come to different conclusions. And the facts are the sheriff's department wrote down one amount of money and they returned a different amount of money. It could be as simple as a mistake. It could also be a crime. Somebody stole it. To suggest that there's no evidence to believe somebody stole it is just wrong, though, because money went missing or appears to have gone missing. This guy's really bad. And I have a feeling that it's this here rather than all of the other testimony that got Afroman off, because this guy just does a bad job at trying to trip him up.
How about the lady admitting that she took?
Could you answer my?
She admitted that she took my money on live.
The reason he brought the news with him, it turns out to be a really good thing that he did. Because, yeah, you can just go watch the news. It's on news that they didn't have my money.
Yeah.
But argue with her admitting that she took my money.
Nobody admitted that they took your money.
Well, whatever. Go look at her admitting that the bag is short because it stayed open all weekend long or 2 weeks after Brian and Officer Cooley just left it and just mishandled it and didn't do it right.
Just so we're honest with the jury here, Mr. Foreman, nobody admitted that they took your money, did they?
Well, actually, they did. See, this is another one of those where he's bad at his job. Of course, they admitted they took his money because he had to go get it back.
Yeah, they literally seized it.
Yep. Now, what he meant to say was nobody admitted to stealing your money.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And words do matter in a courtroom.
They admitted it was short.
Yes. Nobody admitted that they took your money. Correct?
It was short. She admitted, she said that it was short. And usually it's 10.
Why would you have him keep repeating that? As you're trying to win for your clients and prove that he had no reason to call them thieves, and all you have him doing is having him repeat that the sheriff, the woman that works at the sheriff's office, is the one who said his money was short. I'm telling you, this guy, I think Afroman secretly paid him because nothing else
Kinda
makes
you
sense,
wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, right?
doesn't it? It's weird. And again, if I couldn't see him, I would think, okay, maybe this is like his first case, but he's clearly older than I am, or at least my age. He's got the graying hair. It's going thin in the front. He's not a new lawyer. How are you this bad at trial?
And $2 missing. How does $400 even come up missing? Odd.
You posted videos about Brian Newland doing hard drugs and snitching on his friend, and you posted those based on rumors, didn't you? We can look at your deposition, but before you argue with me, but isn't that a fact that you made those allegations based on rumors you said you heard?
It's a fact. William Newland is a convicted pedophile, and Brian.
Oh, sorry. I just have to pause because this is where it really gets funny when they get into the actual defamation parts of it. This is another one where you got to be careful what you ask. That is so important in lawyering, is don't ask questions you don't know the answer to or don't know what that guy's going to say.
Yeah.
Did you post this on rumor? It's a fact that he's a pedophile. By the way, it's not the guy that he called a pedophile. It's his brother he called a pedophile, I think.
Brian Newland is his brother.
See.
After I zeroed in on Brian, I asked about him. Come to find out, he's a large statutory rapist that has sex with all kind of underage girls. He buys them beers and gets them drunk and all that. That's probably the reason he had to leave the Adams County Sheriff Department, because he beats up his wife and he messed with underage girls, and he had to get out of town and go get a job in Northwood.
I just want to point out, he said all of that, and the jury still found him not liable for defamation.
Well, I mean, is there truth to it? Because
fuck. So the actual pedophile in this is the brother of the guy he just said that he's a statutory rapist who buys alcohol for underage girls and beats his wife.
You don't want to answer my question.
I do. Please ask another one.
Well, let me. Ask this one again so I can get an answer. Do you remember in your deposition when I asked you, you have no reason to think these rumors about Brian Newland are true, do you?
Having no reason to believe something is true is not the same as knowingly spreading false information, which is where this would become into defamation, or defamation pro se. We're just saying it out loud as a thing. As long as he heard it from someone else and he had no reason to believe it wasn't true, I don't know what to look up. Brian Newland. I don't think Afroman is wrong. The fact that the lawyer didn't like interject there or anything tells me he's probably right, or at least that there's enough suspicion out there that repeating that air quote rumor isn't defamation.
And you said, well, it's more entertaining if it's true and I can make some money. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. That's a however long that deposition was. You can read the deposition and it tells you what I said.
Do we have a copy, another copy of that? Because I'll show it to you and I can show you my copy. Refresh your recollection.
Well, it is funnier if it's true. I mean, it's horrible if it's true, but it is funnier if it's true. He's like, this guy is out here beating his wife and trying to fuck little girls. And he just says that, and it's a cop. It's grosser, Jack, if it's true.
absolutely.
But I mean, the reason we say it's funny because it's true is because that axiom holds up.
You're going to refresh his recollection.
It's
Trees. you intend to use this.
Thank you, Judge. If I can get it working here.
We
If you
can.
want to follow, we'll refresh his memory by reading it, and then we'd re-ask the question.
The verbiage. Otherwise,
Don't care. Don't care.
2024.
Yes, sir.
That's the same office that you used to film that video that we saw last night with the actor playing Lieutenant Lisa Phillips. And that actor was sitting in the same chair that Lisa Phillips sat in during her deposition, wasn't she?
Yeah, the actor played Lisa because like I wouldn't have known her if she hadn't came to my house and cut off my camera.
Yeah.
He's so petty. He took the actress to the actual deposition room to film it for the video about the Lisa chick.
That is super petty.
I fucking love this guy.
Right.
Right.
That's the office we're talking about, and that's the office where I took your deposition, right?
Yes, sir.
And in that deposition, I'm referring to page 84 of the deposition. I had asked you.
I might start a law podcast, man. I don't have to talk as much during these. There's so much time we spend waiting for the lawyer to just spit it the fuck out.
Yeah.
I can do 10-hour streams and only have to talk for like half an hour worth. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Well, next thing you
About-
know, you enter a polycule, and I've
Oh,
never
damn.
seen that work.
Yeah. I could just not hump other women.
Yeah, I don't think your wife would appreciate it if you did.
Yeah.
He's testifying.
no, he's using the deposition to refresh his memory. He's doing it right, so sit down, please. Go ahead.
Did I ask you this question, and did you give me these answers, Mr. Foreman? Question: would it be fair to say these are rumors? Answer: you know, Stephanie said it, and you know, some other people that don't remember, you know, I'd be in a hurry in Walmart or something. They shake my hand. Yeah, Brian used to do this, used to do that. Then something, I didn't know him, but this is what I've heard. Question: you don't have any particular reason to think that it's true or not true, right? Answer: well, it's more entertaining if it is true.
It's not wrong though.
Jeez. Oh my God. It's amazing this guy wasn't found liable for something.
You have this cop who's giving you shit, who's caused you so many problems, and it turns out that he's a wife abusing pedophile. That is funny, or it is more entertaining that way. Anyway.
And I could probably
People in
make-
this area must hate these cops.
Right? He went on what could be considered a defamatory screed in this trial. And they still found, he's not liable of anything.
some money and capitalize on it if it's true.
What are the line numbers?
Starting with line 7 and ending with line 21.
All right.
Did I ask you those questions and you give me those answers?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But
But that's my question.
I've always
Thank you.
put Brian Newland next to his brother. So that's
Now,
my basis, and I've always
We noticed that.
yeah.
And
yeah,
your
so-
attorney's going to be able to ask you whatever questions he wants. Right now, I'd like you to focus on my questions, Mr. Foreman.
I kind of got to give the lawyer a pass on here, but again, as a juror, I don't know the way that kind of holier than thou thing really hits with me, especially after having heard everything else so far. You gotta, with our system, you do have to pay attention to how things sound to a jury. Just how it is. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm right on this one, considering they found him not liable after he called the man a pedophile in court. Okay, he didn't call him a pedophile. He said he was a statutory rapist. Can you be sued for testimony you gave in court?
I don't think so. I don't know. It depends if you perjure yourself. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so apparently neither is this other guy.
And if Brian hadn't, issued a lawsuit over this, I never would have found out that Afroman thinks he's a statutory rapist. Brian should sue himself for ruining his own reputation.
You have no evidence that Brian Newland ever molested little boys, do you?
I'm be honest, I was laughing so much through this and talking on Twitter at the same time. I don't know where this goes, but I'm assuming if he's asking him that, hey, you don't have any evidence that he molested little boys, that's something Afroman literally said. And he literally says something like that, and they found him not liable. We're almost to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe he did defame him a little bit. But like you said, Jack, either this place hates those sheriffs so much that they were like, nah, fuck these guys. Or it was done in a clearly comical way, which I know some people like, you should never make jokes about that. Shut up. But those are the only two real possibilities here. Either they really hate him or it was done in a joking way where it's covered by free speech to call him a child molester. Oh my God. If I ever get sued for defamation, I want it to be in an Ohio court. Because based on this, I've never said anything defamatory.
If you look at the picture, he's holding the little boy's butt. It's too much for me. So if you just use your eyeballs, and then his brother's a convicted pedophile.
That's your evidence for posting that pedophile stuff about little boys.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of guy is kicking on my door. What kind of guy is walking around my house reading my bank statements? It's a dude that's possibly a pedophile, got a convicted pedophile brother, deputized by the sheriff, walking around, possibly stealing my money. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on as I zoom in with my cameras. That's not the type of guy I don't think should be on the force.
All right, Jack, you're on the jury and that exchange just happened. Is it really him calling him a molester?
I don't know. I'd have to honestly look at like the video and stuff. I think it sounds more like he's just using a cheap insult,
right?
Like schoolyard shit. So I'd have a hard time saying that he was actually calling the guy a pedophile. It sounds more like a taunt than defamation, but you never know. I mean, that it really depends on how elaborate, how often, that sort of thing. But it's rude and it's incredibly childish. But I don't know if there's enough here to convict on.
Did you see the stuff about the Whatever podcast and the chick that he's suing and saying Andrew Wilson should sue?
I saw something about it, but I haven't been following that either. I've been super busy.
In that case, I forget the chick's name. She didn't go on the show. She was talking to somebody else who had gone on the show. And she straight up says Andrew Wilson is a rapist.
I did see a clip of that. Wasn't it a guest on their show?
The girl who said it has never been on the show. Full clip of it, she's explaining that because Andrew Wilson doesn't think consent is a thing. Not what he actually said, but because consent isn't a thing, he's a rapist. You can think consent is not a thing and never rape somebody. Yeah. But that's not even the case here. She actually could be in some trouble for what she said. Her whole take is that those girls are abused on the show. That she said that they get stranded in the desert when the show is done in Santa fucking Barbara. But she makes it sound like it's, you know, an episode of Breaking Bad and the RV breaks down in the desert and they're just stranded. But yeah, she flat out calls him a rapist. That's a little different. She wasn't making a joke or some kind of insinuation. She just flat out says it. I don't know how much money they could get from her for suing, but that is way different than what we're talking about here, where a lot of it really does just sound like some mean-spirited insults.
Yeah, he's being an asshole. Honestly, I'm really convinced if they had just ignored this, it would have gone away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might have hurt your feelings or whatever, but these are obviously not internet people, because internet people know enough that if you get insulted, just let it slide and move on with your life, or lean into the mean. Like the guy that got called lemon pound cake should have had t-shirts printed up saying I'm lemon pound cake or whatever. Just lean into it and it goes away.
Chaos One, thank you. At some point, the lawsuit is self-defamation. It really is.
Yeah, they're just drawing more and more attention to something that would have gone away on its own very quickly. Now it's everywhere.
Now it's part of the official Ohio court records.
Yeah,
that this Brian guy was feeling too much on a little boy's butt.
Jesus. And all your family's dirty laundry is aired out, and people are gonna Sean's gonna make a video on this. We're talking about it. It's gonna be something that in 10 years somebody will do a retrospective on. Remember that musician that got sued by the cops for defamation? Like Professor of Rock's gonna do a video on it in 10 years. It's just, they blew it way out of proportion, and it was dumb. Let it go. Learn to let shit go in life. Trust me, you'll be happier for it.
All right.
I'm going to refer you again to your deposition. If you don't trust the reading of it, I'm happy to give it to you, Mr. Foreman, but on page...
He didn't say he didn't trust your reading of it. He said it was 3.5 years ago, and he doesn't remember exactly what he said. See, this is the kind of shit that if I was on a jury would piss me off about a lawyer.
Yeah. It's typical sleazy lawyer nonsense.
It is not reasonable to expect somebody to remember exactly what they said 3.5 years ago. Anyway.
Page 98 of your deposition on that same day. Beginning at 9/11.
You know what? I want to. He even says to him when he starts bringing up the deposition, he says, I don't remember what I said. You have it there in front of you. There's no point where he challenged the deposition. Anyway.
Did I ask you this question, and did you give me this answer? And again, the only evidence, you don't have any evidence that Brian Newland is a pedophile or plays with little boys. Answer, no, sir.
Hey, Brian, because you brought this lawsuit, there's now a whole bunch of people who think you're a pedophile who plays with little boys.
Pretty much. Again, he should just let it go.
Yeah,
just
dumb
let it
motherfucker.
go.
Did I ask you that question? Did you give me that answer?
I don't remember.
Beginning with line 11, ending with line 14 on page 98. You have no evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money, do you?
I know if she hadn't raided my house, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Nor a lawsuit or nothing. They never should have been at my house.
Since you're not going to answer my question, I'm going to go back to your deposition again, Mr. Foreman, page 102.
Your Honor, if I may, can I just enter a continuing? objection, so I don't have to object every time he does the deposition.
No, it's too important, so please be specific. Thank you.
So I would enter a notation of objection at this point. He is now testifying for a witness. He is no longer refreshing his recollection.
I'll be sensitive to that, so you can rephrase, I'll sustain that. You made the conclusion you didn't have memory, so you've got to go back and fix that.
All right, Judge, I will. Thank you. Do you remember telling me in your deposition, Mr. Foreman, that you don't have any evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money?
Yeah, I she cut off the cameras, but I didn't know who took them. I didn't know who took them. So, for all the officers was a suspect in the first at first, because I didn't know where. After the deposition, I realized that Brian Newland was in charge of the money, and I knew where to focus everything. But at first, all the cops was a suspect, especially after they cut off my cameras, and I couldn't see what they were doing.
All right. Well,
Why? Maybe there's somebody in chat who's, dealt with police like this. Nobody is challenging his assertion that the police turned off the cameras. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Is it normal if the police raid a house for them to turn off somebody's security system?
There are some lawsuits over this that say they're not supposed to be doing that. I think it was in Louisiana, which is Ohio's, I think, in the 6th Circuit, and Louisiana's not. But there have been civil suits over this as violation of the 4th Amendment over that, and most of the time these citizens win. So it's my understanding they're not allowed to turn cameras off, and they're not supposed to. So, besides which, the surveillance footage might actually protect you. Why would you shut that off?
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine a reason for doing it that would make sense to me, and I can't think of one.
I could see them hiding behind officer safety on that. He knows where we're at in the rooms, and if he wants to come surprise ambush us or whatever. But that's kind of a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be the only way I could see the excuse, but I would agree with you that it would be nonsense. Especially in a case like this where they know he's not even near them.
Yeah. If they were smart, they would have left it on. It would have probably prevented these accusations of theft. Because now he could say they pocketed it before they left, or they took extra stuff and he didn't know about. But now, if they'd left the cameras on, they would have been, no, you can see us right here putting stuff in bags and everything was accounted for.
Bunny, sorry, I'm still going to call you Bunny because that's what I know your avatar is. They always do. It's questionable, but they do it anyways. I'm going to challenge you on that because many of the videos that I watch, because I watch a lot of true crime, a lot of it is the police coming in and dealing with the situation, and it's CCTV from the home.
Yeah, one thing I would argue is that it's a bad move because cameras protect you. So
I was gonna say maybe the difference there is that in the ones that I'm seeing, it's because a crime happened there, where in this case it would be because they were going to execute a search warrant.
Yeah, I'd still have a hard time finding why they did that. I think most of the time, if they do shut them off, they're like, well, they could sue us later because let's face it, cops have qualified immunity. So if you manage to get around the qualified immunity, they're still not paying for what happened. The city or the county is going to pay for it.
Yeah,
so
and
the taxpayers are on the hook.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out why I've seen so much CCTV versus if they normally do turn it off. And it would make a little more sense if they're going after a criminal in a search warrant. But to your point you were just making there, what did we see with body cams? Getting everybody body cams has actually shown us that the police are accused of shit that they didn't do way more often than they're hiding something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Video clears good cops and implicates bad cops more often than not. I would say 90% of the time. And how many times have we seen a shooting that there's a protest for, and then the body cam footage comes out, and then some psycho with a knife, like that one Asian cop that got slashed. I think that was in Ohio, wasn't it? By
I
that
think so,
big
yeah.
fat black lady that stormed out down the hallway at him.
Yeah.
And she slashed him, and he shot her, and they had like massive uproar over it until you saw the video. Dude, that guy's lucky to be alive, but they tried to frame him like the villain.
I think that's DL says, did the sheriff have body cams on? Yes, they did, but not the one who counted the money. And Oakview says, cops have scales. They could have weighed the money.
Yeah.
They actually go into how they do the money in this specific jurisdiction. And what they're supposed to do is when they put the money in the bag, they put how many of each denomination is there. So
Yeah.
if there's
that's
3 5s, they put 3 5s instead of 15.
And
So
that's the type of thing you want on body cam to cover your ass.
Anyway, I was just curious if there was like, if anybody knew of a good legal reason to turn them off, and I can't think of one.
I wouldn't have done that because, like I said, you could always subpoena the camera footage from whatever the provider he's got and get it downloaded onto your system and show it as evidence of no wrongdoing. By shutting the cameras off, you're creating the entire opening that he would have for saying that you're thieves.
Yeah. Especially when his money comes up missing.
Yeah, like especially if you find a big wad of cash, you're like, no, nobody shuts their cameras off. No. We are not getting that accusation. Because there have been cases like there was a couple of LA cops got fired and charged because they were stealing things out of houses. When they do a raid, they'd find like fancy sunglasses and shit, and they filmed themselves doing it on their own body cams.
When I worked at Walmart, and this is probably still true at Walmart, you don't fuck with Walmart's money. You don't fuck with money at Walmart.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, somebody be, hey, somebody dropped some money on the floor. And if I was the one that, was dealing with it, I would grab another associate and my hand would be out where I knew the cameras could catch it at all times. So they could never be like, oh, Frank pocketed that money.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like leaving it on would have, look, they might not have counted it where the camera would have captured it anyway, but at least there's the chance that could have happened.
Yeah. It would have at least showed more.
Yeah. All right.
Don't remember? Is that what you're telling me?
I remember telling you that Lisa, probably didn't take my money, but I just didn't know. I just knew it was missing, and they cut off my cameras, so all of them were suspects until I figured it out.
So until you figured it out?
Until everybody figured it out, until it was solved of where the missing money was.
All right. So just to clear this up and move on, you admit that you don't have any evidence that Lisa Phillips stole your money?
No.
But if when he said it, he thought she might have, then that's not defamation.
Yeah. Keith says
Kiefer Bunny.
Oh,
Keister Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, Bunny. Sorry. Newland was supposed to have another person there to count the money with him, and he didn't. Yeah, that's dumb. That is stupid. That's sloppy, lazy work. And quite honestly, you deserve to be fired for that because that makes you look like you are stealing. Always cover your ass.
I just told you at Walmart, I had a better policy than this police did.
Yeah, this is just sloppy training and lackadaisical work environment because anybody that has any common sense would know this is not my money. I don't want to be accused of anything. So I'm going to do it by the book and even take extra steps to cover my butt because that's just good professionalism. It's good police work. And you don't want to look like a half-ass slacker because nobody's going to, if you're not following the book on counting money, can anybody count on you in a firefight? If you're so lazy and lackadaisical on small things, you're going to do it on big things too. Like, Billy's in some trouble over there. I'll just mosey. I don't want to get shot at. Nobody's going to trust you.
Meadow, have a good night, man. All
Later,
right,
Meadow.
back to these tards.
But I know if she wasn't there in the first place, we wouldn't be having this conversation or be here.
I'm actually surprised the judge never told him to stop answering questions that aren't asked. Because he gets away with this several times where he just decides to add some shit on.
And is it true that one of your big motivation really in making all of these posts is to make money?
To pay for the damage that they brought to my house under the circumstance that they shouldn't have even been there in the first place.
Now, I'm sure this part is for, the jury to make it sound like it's not just, trying to get rich off of this. I'm perfectly okay with him just making money off the police wrongfully raiding his home. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, there probably was some damage to the house too. It's pretty easy to do. Doors aren't what they used to be.
They broke his fence coming in.
Were they in an armored personnel carrier? Jesus.
He's got one of those big like horse fence things on his driveway, and when they moved it, apparently they broke something.
Jeez.
But yeah, I see you and Keister Bunny there talking. I forgot you weren't here for that part of the conversation. Lemon Pound Cake was left in charge of the money. So the cop who collects it brings it into the kitchen and sets it down and tells Lemon Pound Cake to keep an eye on it. Lemon Pound Cake leaves, and he's on body camera saying, "I'm not worried about it. Nobody's in there." When the room we just saw had at least 3 cops in it still.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's terrible chain of custody, but man, I would feel very, very uncomfortable if I lived in Adams County. Wow.
Yeah, it's really stupid. Really,
this
stupid.
is just sloppy all around.
If I had to bet on whether or not somebody from the police department actually stole his money or not, I would bet yes.
It really does start to look that way, doesn't it? Like there's too many people not being sloppy with their jobs and not really following chain of evidence, chain of custody, and just not doing their jobs properly. It really looks like they hired some lowly, barely qualified people that have, shall we say, loose morals.
I would be looking at which sheriff's deputies went to Sizzler that night and got the big steak instead of the 6-ounce.
Yeah, I feel bad for any honest cop in Adams County because they're going to look like retards now because of this.
Yeah. Excuse me. And that's the thing. Even best case scenario, this was bungled badly. Yeah. Because they brought this case, now everybody knows how fucking incompetent they are. Somebody said it earlier. This becomes a self-defamation case.
Go ahead.
This
sort of like you're going to get a phone call from the investigators on the John Benet Ramsey case and be like, dude, let me walk you through how this is going to happen for the next 5 years. You're going to catch a lot of shit, and rightfully so. But just remember, just because you're an idiot doesn't mean you can't get a job.
Yeah.
So the answer to my question is yes, your motivation was to make money.
To pay for the damages that they brought to my house under the circumstances that they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Have you made enough yet?
Even if his motivation was money, it doesn't make him liable. This is another one of those things where if I'm the jury, I'm just annoyed at you because it's entirely irrelevant.
To make up for it?
Not really. You know.
How much have you made on it?
I don't know exactly, but it wasn't hardly $24,000.
$24,000.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that.
You're still making money on today, right? With the new posts and advertisements.
I know he got a little bit from me because I had never heard of lemon pound cake, and I went and watched it in full on his channel today.
So you got 5 cents from Monkey.
Yep. You're welcome, Afroman.
Some things
Us
that get-
Publicity?
You're still selling merchandise, aren't you?
No. Publicity, just me, just everybody, you know, thanks to them bringing publicity to this, it's just, you know, an opportunity to run numbers up and be an entertainer.
Yep. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I think if the police fuck you over, they break your shit on a warrant that shouldn't have been issued in the first place. They don't find anything worth coming to your house, and you get a chance to make back, even if he did make 24,000 on it. Good for him. Good for him. They fucked you. They fucked up. I'm okay with him making money off of it. This isn't somebody else's tragedy. This is what he went through.
And the more lies, outrageous lies you tell about them, the more money you can make, right?
Fact, they never should have came to my house in the first place. Fact, if they hadn't have came to my house, they wouldn't have put themselves on the video camera and in my music career. All of this is their fact. All of this is their fault, and they have the audacity.
He's a bad
to sue
answer.
me. These people and you are the predators and the victim at the same time.
Now that part of it was a good answer. The first part of it, like the more outrageous lies you tell, the more money you can make. That's one, not true. You can get to a point where you tell so many bad lies that people stop listening to you, and it can actually be detrimental. But more importantly, he hasn't shown that he told lies. Worst case you've shown is that he repeated rumors, which might be douchey, but that's not the same as lying. But that part at the end, where it's like you guys are both the predator and the I forget his exact wording. Hang on, let's
To sue me. These people and you are the predators and the victim at the same time.
predators and the victim.
So
Yeah, and that's what you've just shown to the jury over and over again by letting this man repeat everything. He's had to pay his lawyer and repair his property, plus he had to pay for that glorious suit he's wearing. True. But again, I don't know in not Chicago, Ohio. I know in many states they finally started doing it where if you sue and you lose, you pay the lawyer's fees. So he'd get that back anyway if Ohio has that. But either way, I don't care. They came after him, and even if they didn't break any of his shit, if he just wanted to make a song called "These Stupid Fuckers Came to My House for No Goddamn Reason and Fuck Them All," I'm okay with it. I'm a capitalist, man.
what they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you
Under the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and
For the record, even if they had found a whole bunch of pot and stuff there, they found bricks of pure cocaine, he still has the right to make songs about them. It doesn't matter that there was a warrant or what. This is his experience that he went to. Oh, so that gives you, yes, he has that right, regardless of the rest of the circumstances.
kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm.
Why would you ask him a question that sets him up to say that? Because again, if I'm on the jury at that point, my American flag is flying high. Plus that suit, man. Plus that suit.
I'm a sport for doing so because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office.
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday.
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes,
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
yes,
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an
I don't understand the point of this question. You saw that she was upset. One, I don't believe she was upset. I watched her cry in her testimony, and I think it was I don't want to say fake because she may have had real tears, but it was acting. You can have real tears when you're acting. Some people can cry on command. I don't believe she was actually this upset about it. She just, do you need to take a break? And I'm going to tell you why. My wife has admitted to me that when we were dating and stuff, she would occasionally make herself cry to make me, be more protective and hug on her and, oh, come here, baby. Women will manipulate the shit out of you. And one of the ways they do it is with the tears. Now, if you want to tell me that's not actually a woman, then maybe we can get into a different discussion. But a woman crying, it has nothing. Let's say, for argument's sake, that she had been a prostitute when she was 18. I'm not saying she was. I'm saying, let's say, for argument's sake, that she was. And then Afroman finds that out, and he makes a video talking about how she was a prostitute. And then she sees that, and it actually really does hurt her because she's ashamed of that part of her life. And I didn't want anybody to know that. And for the record, in this scenario, she'd been arrested for it. That's how we know for a fact she was, right? So Afroman makes the thing, and it really does upset her. Still doesn't make it defamation. Getting your feelings hurt doesn't make what somebody said defamation. Thank you, Undoc Crime. Why are people aligning with this woman beating piece of shit? Please YouTube search Afroman punches girl on stage. Because he's right in this situation. I don't have to sign on to everything he's done to be like, yeah, the police are really fucked up here and there's a really stupid case. As for him punching a woman on stage, I know nothing about that. I'll look it up, but it's not going to change my opinion here because he's right here. This is kind of like what I was just talking about with a woman can be absolutely upset about something that doesn't make what she's crying about defamation. Just because
woman was crying.
Just because A exists doesn't mean B doesn't exist. Anyway.
AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me, just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person, she is. So I'm sorry for being a victim. Let's talk about the predators.
Okay. So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home.
Him wearing a USA suit is a farce to the USA. Well, you can't hit women in the USA? I'm fairly certain you can.
Beating women in the USA. Yeah, no, that's not how the song goes. No, that's Party. That's right. My bad.
Upset. You heard all that, but you're still posting stuff about it.
Yeah, because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
He had drugs, he had guns. I tell you what, go find me the criminal case against him for the stuff they got from this raid. I'll wait.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
I already looked it up. Then you know that there was no case brought against him for this. Because all they found was a small amount of weed.
Where's guns legal? Because that makes a difference.
Notice he didn't say he had to go get his guns back.
Yeah.
I don't know where the guns part of this came up. But I've not seen a single thing that suggests that they confiscated guns from him.
That's all.
Wasn't that thing where you hit the chick part of a stunt, or she wanted him to do it or something?
Do what?
There's a thing about him hitting a woman on stage. Wasn't that a stunt, or she asked him to do it or something?
I honestly don't know what that is in reference to. Afroman hits woman. Let's see. In February 2015, Afroman punched a female fan in the face while performing on stage at a concert in Mississippi. Apology and mental health. Afroman apologized, stating it was uncharacteristic behavior and that he needed help for anxiety and anger management. He was arrested and charged with misdemeanor simple assault, paid a $300 bond. Part of a plea deal, he agreed to go to anger management and serve probation. Tyrai, thank you. Can I ask, but why does his hands look like little child hands? Some people, unfortunately, have baby hands, and it's creepy when they do.
It's very creepy.
Yeah.
You want to continue, I'm sorry, Mr. Osborne. Do you want to continue the direct examination of your client now?
Your Honor, I was going to actually ask for a sidebar so we can talk about it.
Okay, so there's the end of his testimony, and yeah, he wins this suit because, of course, he did. If you watched, the last 2 hours of this stream, the defamation is nonsense. Most of their claims of defamation are, as he called me a name. A couple of them get into criminal, accusing them of crimes like pedophilia and statutory rape. But even those ones within the context are just mean-hearted insults. He's just being insulting. The invasion of their privacy, they don't show any examples of that I could find when I was watching this, of how their privacy.
It's all public record shit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
we got our lag, so we're stepping on each other. Sorry, guys.
That's fine. Show the video. It's brutal. You want to see a woman get punched in the face?
Well, I mean, if she has it coming.
We typically don't show violence on the channel because we're on YouTube. I know you're over there on Rumble, but I am dual streaming on YouTube. I'm perfectly willing to believe that him punching a woman was brutal. He got charged for it. He fulfilled any of his obligations. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why you think he should be held accountable for this because of that, right? Like, let's say that not only did he punch her in the face, he threw her down and cooter punched her a whole bunch of times, grabbed her titties and twisted them as hard as he could. What the fuck does that have to do with whether or not he's right here? And I get what you said. Well, he's a disgrace to the suit. Okay. For the record, some people think just wearing that suit is disrespectful because you're not actually supposed to be wearing a flag. But okay, and it's a farce to America because one time over a decade ago he hit a woman. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. Anyway.
Like, you could not like the guy and still say he didn't actually do what he's being accused of. He may have done some scummy things in the past, but that
he
doesn't
used
make
cops'
him
likeness.
guilty here.
He used cops' likeness to make a video. Well, in the one video, he used actual video of them in the course of their duty, which he's on his own camera. It's not like he used the body cam footage of them. Well, actually, I think the one picture might have been the body cam. But again, you know who owns that? The public. It absolutely belongs to the public. So it's fine. You're not supposed to wear the actual flag as clothing. Yes, that's true. The whole Larry Flint thing is how I know all about the, whether or not, because he wore the American flag as a diaper. Oh, Larry, we hardly knew you, you disgusting shitbag. See, I don't like Larry Flint, but when it came to his suit with Jerry Falwell, Larry Flint was in the right in that one. Larry Flint was a disgusting piece of shit of a human. And the way he wore the flag, he was being absolutely disrespectful. But in that case, he was right. This is what you have to be able to separate principle from the person. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all can't do that. Like, you should never ever be on this guy's side because he did this horrible thing. But if he's right, he's right. And that's it's not always fun to do, Jack. There's some people I've had to defend who are utter shitbags. Utter shitbags. But what was being said about them or what they were going through at the time, they were in the right. That's all. What the civil issue I should care about? Well, he didn't defame them, which is what they were suing over. There's not defamation there. There was no invasion of privacy. You should care about whether or not he did the things he was accused of. And I'll just remind you that earlier today, a jury said, no, he wasn't. Anyway, Jack, before we wrap up, anything you want to talk about?
No, not really. This is probably the biggest thing going on today, from what I can tell. I don't think there's much else going on.
To quote Falcon, he's out of line, but he's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
As somebody who occasionally pushes a line or two himself, let's put Darth Mondo's kitty back on screen. I can absolutely understand where Afroman's coming from here. You come to my house, kick in my door, break my shit. Oddly, $400 of mine goes missing. I'm gonna be petty as fuck.
Yeah, I think this whole thing was childish all around.
Sure it was.
There was a lot of unprofessionalism and bad work on the police's part, but Afroman was definitely being like a high school teenager over this.
He was, yeah.
So yeah, nobody came out looking particularly good on this.
But right is right, and he's right in this case. So that's where my side lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Nothing deeper than that.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just saying nothing deeper than that. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's true. Joe Kent has been making the rounds.
Oh God, yes.
He resigned. He worked under Tulsi Gabbard at the counterterrorism center, and now he's going on Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens talking about how it was Israel behind Charlie Kirk's death.
Yep, I saw. Maybe it was yesterday or the day before this first popping up, and look. I don't know a lot about Kent. What I do know is that Tyler Robinson was on video, and he looks close enough to Tyler Robinson for me to be like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
They found his gun with his prints. His parents said it was him. He's admitted it was him at least 4 different times. He's told his friends it was him on Discord. He's told a family friend who's the one who facilitates turning him in. There is literally zero reason to believe it wasn't him doing it because he's been listening to the social justice crap and he was banging a tranny in a dog suit.
Yeah, weird.
Candace Owens also told us that the French are trying to kill her using Jews that are in Sweden. So anybody who's going on her show to push more of that kind of nonsense, I'm not going to listen to. I mean, I'll listen.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows Swedish
proof.
Jews are the best assassins. Come on.
True. The whole Kent thing. No, I saw one of the Weinstein brothers. I think it was Brett, who he said it's reasonable to ask questions about the Charlie Kirk thing. And I'm like, we have very different definitions of reasonable. There is, at this point, there's zero reason, you know the word reason, to actually think that anybody but Tyler Robinson did this.
Yeah.
Remember Candace when she had her fat little friend there who we know lied about his wife, telling me, I saw a gathering of E5 lieutenant colonels, and you never see that. You know, except for at the NCO club or anywhere there's military.
What? There's leaders around those places? That's crazy.
And that's before we even go back to making jokes about how it's not it would be a 05 for officer, you fucking retard.
No, an insider told her.
E stands for enlisted. God damn.
It stands for elite, right? That's how this works.
Oh, I fucking hate that woman. But Joe Kent, he's going to go on. He'll probably make some money off of this. Candace and Tucker will make a bunch of money off of this, and none of their fans will be smart enough to go, didn't he admit to it? Like, isn't there tons of evidence that he admitted to it?
Lots of hate facts there, Monkey.
I know. I don't know why I bother with facts because they don't seem to matter in this world. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind. And unlike Afroman, I'm not going to pretend that I'm doing this for altruistic reasons. I just like money.
I like money too. That's why we're friends.
Give as much as you can. No, thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links to some cool videos. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. All the tips. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for coming out night after night to listen to us rant and rave about all the stupidity we see. And also, Hassan Piker's still a dum-dum, so let's not forget that. Oh, and thank you, Tyrai. I mean, Tucker Carlson is claiming the CIA is after him.
True.
He probably is giving them reason to be after him, quite honestly.
Well,
after
remember,
he was in contact with Iranians.
The reason that he's claiming that is because he got picked up on Iranian calls. And he's like, oh my God, the CIA is listening into me. No, they're listening into the Iranians. You just happen to be who they're talking to, dumbass.
Yeah, maybe stop talking to the Iranians.
I threw the link in. If anybody wants to go watch more of the trial footage, I'm telling you, if you got time to kill, there's a lot of funny shit in there. Check that stuff out. And with that, Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody, we love you. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Because he got high. Because he got high. Because he got high.